Hello Raptors fans and welcome to Raptors Report. Today we're going to be examining one of the most exciting aspects of the young 2019-2020 Raptors season, the emergence of the fun, high-octane, impressive Raptors bench. In this video we'll be looking at the play of Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, Chris Boucher, Matt Thomas, and Terrence Davis as we check out the reasons why they've captured the collective attention of Toronto Raptors fans. We'll start off the video by looking at Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who's impressed Raptors coach Nick Nurse.
Rondae's been really good defensively, right? He's really been a big asset. We put him on a really good player when he gets in there. Just his intensity, strength, and foot speed have been great.
After OG Anunoby's injury, Coach Nurse charged Rondae with the task of guarding Kawhi Leonard, and he did a great job, as he helped hold Kawhi to an anemic 2 of 11 shooting. 2 nights later, Coach Nurse had Rondae guard Portland star Damian Lillard, who shot an even worse 2 of 12 from the field. One of the things you'll notice when watching these clips is that Hollis-Jefferson is very good at using his hands to disrupt ball handlers, as he has no fear of swiping at the ball when he feels like his man has exposed it too much, like he does here when he manages to dig in and get the steal after getting beat by Lou Williams' baseline. Hollis-Jefferson and the Raptors hounded Kawhi all night long with a series of doubles, throwing multiple defenders at him and punishing him when he made mistakes, like he did with this bad pass that Rondae jumps on for an easy run out. The Raptors complimented Rondae's good man defense by giving him plenty of help to cut off driving lanes and crowd Kawhi with a series of different bodies and looks, all of which contributed to Kawhi committing a career-high 9 turnovers. In this clip, RHJ gets his pocket picked by DJ Augustine and is pretty slow to recover, which results in an open 3 for Nikola Vucevic, which fortunately misses. He manages to make up for the mistake when Augustine gets the ball back, and Hollis-Jefferson launches a surprise blitz, which culminates in a steal and a slam.
He's been an extra possession getter, keeping balls alive, like big time. I think those are big momentum plays. And we haven't got a lot of those this year, so it's good to see us get some of those.
I think one of the most entertaining aspects to Hollis-Jefferson's game is his willingness to get his hands dirty, throw his body around, and fight for loose balls and offensive rebounds. He has a nose for the ball, and unlike a lot of offensive rebounding specialists, he doesn't always try to force up a shot when he gets the board. He's perfectly content kicking the ball back out or passing it to an open teammate. Hollis-Jefferson has been a willing ball mover with good basketball IQ, who can hit teammates with pretty accurate passes when he gets the ball in the paint. The unselfishness fits well with the team, and he's had a number of very exciting plays hooking up rookie Terrence Davis with some nice dimes. Like in this clip, when he hits Davis with a nice pass after AD commits, leading to a big momentum play in the 4th. That said, RHJ isn't a very skilled offensive player. He doesn't have a good shot, and he's reliant on other players to get him easy looks at the basket. But he's having somewhat of an offensive renaissance this season. The Raptors have shooters at almost every other position, meaning they can afford to put him in the spot traditionally reserved for a team's center on offense. He's been able to play under the basket where he's most comfortable, and it's paying off. In 8 games with the Raptors this season, he's upped his true shooting percentage by 10% over his career averages. And that's not surprising, because he's taking 70% of his shots within 3 feet of the basket, compared to only 45% for his career. He's also been the recipient of good playmaking from teams' ball handlers, who are able to find him under the basket for easy buckets. I think the ability to play around the basket on offense has been the key to unlocking his potential. Next up is Chris Boucher, who's emerged as a versatile 2-way big man in the wake of Serge Ibaka's injury. Nick Nurse describes what he believes has let Boucher take the next step at the NBA level.
And Chris, when Chris is amped up, and he's been pretty amped up most nights, he's at the rim blocking a few shots and grabbing a few big rebounds, offensive tip-ins. Chris should be a off the ball, guy because he's a rim protector, and sometimes we got to get him to quit thinking so much and just let him play with some instinct and chase the ball a little bit.
Boucher, despite his thin frame, has been a force on the defensive end, and a lot of it has been from playing with a ton of energy and contesting shots with his impressive length. He's also a highlight machine, as shown here with his devastating block on Montrezl Harrell, and again in this clip where he blocks Anthony Davis at the rim. Boucher has been getting it done on both ends with momentum-shifting plays. Here he gets a massive block on one end and then sprints down to the other for a highlight reel slam. Like Hollis-Jefferson, Boucher is an extra possession creator with his offensive rebounding. He's averaging an absurd 6.5 offensive rebounds per 36 minutes, and like Coach Nurse says, that's a result of his strong drive and willingness to chase the ball, combined with his long, slender figure that's able to sneak inside opposing defenses. Check out this play where he beats the much bigger Mo Bamba multiple times on the glass to get the score. He's playing with a lot of fire, which is needed in the absence of Serge Ibaka. The last element of Boucher's game that I think deserves attention is his three-point shooting ability, one that he showed off with the Raptors 905 en route to becoming the G League MVP. The Raptors' offense is predicated on the ability to stretch the floor from every position, and Boucher has been willing to launch it from the perimeter to help keep defenses honest. The problem is that he's only shooting 30% from out there, meaning that teams could potentially sag off him as scouting reports adapt to account for his bigger role. In all, Boucher has taken full advantage of his increase in minutes and has really surprised me with his play this season. The next player we're going to discuss is Mr. 99% himself, Matt Thomas, a guy with the shot so deadly that teams have already started heavily game planning around limiting him. Matt Thomas's lethal three-point shot has been as advertised. It's fast, compact, and is splashing through the net at an astounding 54% rate. He gets most of his looks running off of down screens set to free him at the top of the arc. And as we can see in his shot chart, he's getting most of his three-point looks above the break rather than in the corners, meaning that he's working for these buckets and we're running screenplays specifically to get him open to shoot the ball. Check out this play where Thomas enacts a pet peeve of mine, which is pump faking an open shot for a contested one, but his shot is so pure that he splashes it in Luka's face anyway. Thomas is also a pretty decent shooter off the bounce, which is important because teams are consistently sending defenders to run him off the three-point line. While I don't want Thomas to become the second coming of Jason Capono and decline every three-point opportunity he has, having a solid mid-range game when an opponent blows past him is something that should help him score when he's being guarded too tightly. A common question I hear in Raptor fan circles is that if he's such a deadly three-point threat, why isn't Matt Thomas seeing more playing time? The answer to that question is primarily that Thomas to this point has been a negative defender. As I attempt to illustrate in these clips, his average foot speed, difficulty navigating around opposing screens, and questionable decision-making has made Thomas a player opposing teams want to attack. The solution for the coaching staff has been to run a zone defense whenever Matt Thomas enters the game. Coach Nurse does not want Matt chasing players around screens or being put into countless pick-and-roll coverages, so the zone defense helps mask some of these weaknesses on that end. The result has been mixed. I think while this helps to mask some of Thomas's shortcomings defensively, it's not a cure-all. Take for instance here, even in the 3-2 zone, Matt inexplicably decides to double-team Jared Dudley on the three-point line, which leaves Fred VanVleet guarding two players on the perimeter, resulting in a series of wild overcompensations that leads to a foul. Or in this play versus the Clippers, where Matt Thomas gets completely discombobulated and turned around guarding Lou Williams, leading to a pretty easy basket. And also in this play, when Thomas and VanVleet get mixed up on the coverage and leave Patrick Beverley, who gets Matt on the back foot with a drive, leading to a foul. This isn't to say that Matt Thomas is completely hopeless at this end. In this sequence versus the Hornets, he manages to make a number of decent plays where he's in position, moving his feet, and playing fundamental positional basketball. Despite his limitations, he's been average defensively in stretches, and I think he'll make fewer mental mistakes as he gets more accustomed to the Raptors' defensive schemes, which is all he needs to do to become a productive player, as his shooting ability really is that impressive. Last, but certainly not least, is Raptors super rookie Terrence Davis. Many tuned-in Raptors fans were expecting big things from Davis this season, and he's made those prognostications look pretty smart. He's produced at a high level for the Raptors, setting career highs seemingly every game, contributing to the Raptors with his three-point shooting, attacking the basket, and his surprising play at point guard off the bench. The rookie doesn't look fazed at all by the big stage, appearing poised under pressure and helping deliver decisive blows in the Raptors' victory over the Lakers. And his three-point shot has been impressive to say the least. Terrence Davis is shooting 47% from three, where he takes 55% of his shots, and the mechanics are actually quite nice looking. The release is high, the motion is pretty quick, and he gets his legs into the shot. Perhaps he won't shoot as high as 47% from three the whole season, but this isn't a fluke, and I expect him to be a strong three-point shooter going forward. It's hard to overstate how important three-point shooting is from the guard position in the NBA. Modern offenses are so reliant on stretching out defenses and using accurate off-ball shooters to punish teams when they send help. So even as a rookie, Terrence Davis has the potential to see significant minutes simply based on his ability to knock down open shots when teams load up on Siakam or Van Vliet when they drive. And as I mentioned earlier, he and Hollis-Jefferson seem to have some nice chemistry going on, as RHJ has hit Terrence with some very nice passes, and Davis has rewarded him by rising up and knocking down the shot. None more important than this clutch three in front of a screaming LA Lakers bench to help hand them one of their 2 losses this season. On top of the three-point shooting, Terrence Davis has shown an aptitude for running the point. He looks very comfortable handling the ball in the pick and roll, both by using the pick to help him attack the basket, but also as a way of setting up teammates with good looks. This two-man sequence with Chris Boucher really shows off the whole package. This high-post handoff action with Gasol shows that he knows how to use Mark's screen to shed his defender and attack the paint. And using screens is a huge part of playing the point guard position. Speaking of screens, there was a great 3-possession sequence versus the Magic, where Terrence Davis and Pascal Siakam ran a pick and roll, where Davis was able to find Siakam unguarded at the free throw line with accurate bounce passes. Siakam was having difficulty isolating against the Magic's excellent defender Jonathan Isaac, so Davis finding him in the pick and roll gave Pascal an easy 4 points he might otherwise have struggled to get. These point guard plays should be very exciting for Toronto Raptor fans, as it greatly raises Terrence Davis's ceiling as a prospect. The emergence of the Toronto Raptors bench means that Raptors coaching, development, and scouting staff should be applauded, as well as the players themselves for proving that they were worthy of playing time on an Eastern Conference powerhouse. These players have shown that they deserve playing time, something that may be in short supply when minute sponges Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka return from injury. The coaches and management will have to make a tough decision, either to limit productive players' playing time, or perhaps even to make a consolidation trade where multiple players are packaged together for an upgrade. This obviously falls under the good problem to have ledger, and it will be very interesting to watch how the rest of the season pans out. This is a reminder that if you enjoyed this content, please like this video and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it also lets me know that you're interested in the things that I'm creating. Follow Raptors Report on Twitter for regular NBA and video updates. And finally, thank you for watching Raptors Report, your source for in-depth Raptors content.